Desert Psalms is the debut full-length album from Serpentes. This is a Portuguese/Icelandic black metal quintet, and one that has been pulled together as under the curation of a Ara from Angranos. If you're familiar with Angranos' style, that's going to be kind of important if you are to recognize his hand in this and his compositional forte. But he's also brought in his drummer in Angranos since 2022 or so, MS, who is also featured in Miss Thurming, as well as Farda Dowdy, which he's expressed appreciation for those groups quite a bit in the past otherwise. Maybe the bigger deal here is that DG from Miss Thurming is also here. I assume that he provides some vocals and guitar work on this. Those are his forte, and it sounds like him half of the time. So it sounds like this is a full collaboration that has been curated by Aara. Either way, it's black metal, something that seeks to disrupt, but not necessarily fully experiment in the way that you'd expect. The 90s black metal is still the root of this artist's ideation, and this is a slightly avant-garde vision of it that flows under its own command. I would say if you're already a fan of Magna Lua Ordo Mystica and Med Hamri, you kind of get the idea of what these people are most capable of right now and what they brought into this record. It is different, but we'll get to a clip here and you can hear for yourself. This record is always flowing, always moving from point A to point B, and never rests too long in one spot. While it might be fair on some level to say that the most aggressive, fastest, and most engaging points on this record sound like a mix of Portuguese and Icelandic black metal, I don't think that necessarily sums up the restlessness of the record, the dark current of it, and its constant need to move. And we never really sit in one place with this record, as I'd suggested, but more so it flows from one point to another. We actually start with the more disruptive songs, the more aggressive points, and then move through the record in a way that is challenging, difficult to describe. I think that this is kind of an amorphous ask in terms of sitting down, memorizing what happens, and really getting a feel for everything, because they're really just throwing in a lot of immediate ideas that occur only once, and they kind of pass through. So it's not necessarily a progressive black metal experience, but there are a lot of surprising turns taken. There are quite a lot of use of chorales, choral vocals, and different interjections of rhythm that are in the black metal wheelhouse, but maybe unexpected in a lot of cases. And so it really is the kind of record where you kind of just have to let it flow and do its thing. Overall, the only point that I would make here is that I didn't feel like the end point was as compounded as I wanted it to be. The sixth song here is the strongest. It ends the record in a very strong way, and then a finale of the seventh psalm doesn't necessarily finish the thought. It just extends it for about 8 minutes, and I could have done without it, but I get it. And I do think it is cool the way that it has this interesting kind of post-black metal or even like psychedelic rock kind of fling to it. It does feel, again, like a little bit of a progressive riff being flung out there for the sake of it. This is an interesting black metal record overall. By mashing together these brains of Portuguese and Icelandic musicians, they've made something that is entirely unique in the way that it expresses itself. I don't know that it is so memorable or jaw-dropping in that sense, but if you're a fan of Icelandic black metal or you've been a fan of Angranos since they returned, I think that this is a natural kind of pickup in terms of just something that gives you more of these artists' voice and combines it in a way that actually ends up being quite creative and dramatic. So if you need something that is less amorphous and more defined in a more classic sense, there is some of that on here, but it's not necessarily the point of these movements and the way they flow through. Check it out for yourself, see what you think. It released today on April 18th. Go ahead and check out my written review on the website to see what I thought in more depth.